Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you another review of a new TV series, actually. It's actually gonna premiere on the USA Network tonight, but they actually released the first episode, the pilot episode, online and also on demand if you have Comcast Xfinity, and that is Colony. And this one stars Josh Holloway, who some of you probably do recognize from the TV show Lost. And then it also co-stars Wayne Callies, who a lot of us remember as Lori from The Walking Dead. And also she had a pretty significant role on Prison Break as well. But I personally know her from The Walking Dead. Now, I've seen previews for this, at least a couple months ago. And I was pretty damn intrigued by the concept, We don't actually know too much about it yet, even coming out of the pilot episode. But the previews were really well done, I think. There's like this almost post-apocalyptic, not really, but there's been some kind of takeover. We don't really know if they're aliens or some other type of thing or not. And this is a different show for the USA Network to have. I've seen a couple shows on the USA Network. I haven't really watched too many, but I've seen shows like Burn Notice, which I still have to finish the last 2 seasons of. I've seen a show like Graceland, which just got canceled, but I kind of dropped that, a little bit into the 3rd season. But typically, a lot of USA shows are sort of like lighter crime drama type of things like that, really. So Colony is something different that USA Network is doing. It's more of a drama, probably a little bit of action as it goes further along, but it's almost has like a sci-fi type of feel to it as well. So I really think they're trying to do something different and step their game up a little bit, especially when there's like all these great shows out there nowadays, right? And how did I feel about the pilot episode? Well, first off, I won't watch this review until you watch the premiere tonight, or if you've already seen it yourself like I did, then go ahead. But overall, I did like it. Was I blown away? No. I wasn't overly impressed by anything, but I will say the show does have a lot of potential, because they do have 2 very capable actors, in the lead roles. Like I said, Josh Holloway from Lost, and Wayne Callies, of course. And of course, a lot of people just automatically hate Wayne Callies because she is Lori in The Walking Dead, and they hated Lori. But really, even if that character got on your nerves, that's just that character, I don't think there's really any denying that, she's a good actress. She is a damn good actress. Even as Lori, she had really, good moments of, showing some very solid acting chops, I think. And so I'm willing to give her a chance at anything else, too. And, I haven't seen as much of Josh Holloway as others. I actually haven't seen all of Lost. I'm actually, almost halfway through the 1st season. I will probably watch more of it at some point. But so far, I think he's one of the more intriguing characters on Lost, and I think he's definitely working. He definitely could work as our male lead on Colony. Something else I also wanted to mention is that, let's see, one of the creators, Carlton Cuse, or not Cuse, but Cuse, I don't know how you pronounce the last name, sorry, but he is a pretty significant, screenwriter, showrunner, producer, stuff like that. He was an executive producer for Lost, coincidentally, and also he is one of the main developers and writers of The Strain on FX. And if you guys know my channel at all, you know how much I love The Strain. It's one of my favorite shows out there right now. I really can't wait for season 3 to start, hopefully within a few months. So I definitely wanted to give this a look, at the very least. And let's see, something else I wanted to mention. It's partly from Legendary Television or Legendary Entertainment. Of course, the way they're promoting us, from the people behind Godzilla and stuff, so of course that would draw me in if you guys know me at all. I do need to do more Godzilla videos, by the way. Hopefully I'll be doing a video on this once I finish Volume 1, but that's not what the video is about. Like I said, we actually don't know that much about the first episode. Let's see. I mean, we don't know that much coming off of the first episode. There's actually more information about what's actually going on the Wikipedia page where it talks about the plot than we actually really know in the first episode, to be honest. Unless I really missed some stuff, I don't know. But like I said, there's been some kind of takeover, and humans are being forced to, live in sort of seclusion, really, or like with very specific laws and ways of running a society and stuff like that. And Josh Holloway plays Will Bowman, and who we think is Billy Sullivan at first, but it turns out that's really just an alias, to cover up who he really was before the show started. And it turns out that he's a former Army Ranger or an FBI agent or something like that. And him and Sarah Wayne Callies' character, who plays his wife, they have a missing son. And so pretty close to the beginning of the episode, we see Will having to go across he's trying to get himself smuggled into Santa Monica, and that's like another walled off area. It's like a different section of whoever took over this area and stuff like that. That's like a different section of this new civilization they've created, basically. And they believe when everything went down, they're separated from their son. They believe he's on the other sector, basically. So he's trying to get smuggled over there to try and find him. But of course, things go wrong. There's a huge explosion. The guy who helps him get smuggled into the truck that he's trying to hide in is played by Charles Baker, who some of you may recognize. I recognized him as Skinny Pete from Breaking Bad, so that was kind of funny. Of course, he's another shady character on this show, but we won't be seeing much of him because he got killed off when the explosion went off. But it's still kind of funny to see him. And at first, the rest of the kids and, Katie, Sarah Wayne Callies' character, they're worried all night because, there's like a curfew they can't be out past, so they'll be taken in and have, whoever knows what done to them. So of course they're very worried, but Will is actually taken in to meet Alan Snyder, and he's like this government, or not government, like he's the governor of the Los Angeles block or something like that. He's basically he's in control of that, like I said, that particular section as I understood it. And, he's willing to make a deal with Will. He, actually knows who Will was in his past life, before all this shit went down. And, he's basically trying to talk him into, basically working with what they're doing here. This, I forget what they call it, life under occupation. That's one of the promotional tags of the show, but basically work alongside, the people who are controlling all this. At the same time, there's this resistance movement who are responsible for this explosion when they're trying to cross into Santa Monica, and they're painted up to be the villains, like these criminals, basically. But it seems like the resistance are probably our good guys here, I'd say. From what we know about so far, it's kind of obvious. But if Will were to join up with Snyder, he would get some benefits that certain other citizens wouldn't necessarily get. And, he'd basically go back to his old job of being like a FBI agent, or his main job would just be simply hunt down the resistance and kill their leaders, basically. And that gives his family more potential security with this whole thing that they have set up here. And, Katie ends up being on the fence about it. She's dealing with getting some, working insulin and stuff like that. We see some of her dealings that she goes through there, but she has a gun ready at every turn and stuff like that. She has a dog. I told she has a pistol, and it turns out anyone who possesses a weapon like that without authority, could be punished by death. So there's something there. And we end up finding out that her and a couple of the neighbors, or a neighbor that she went to for support when she wasn't sure what happened to Will, she was looking around the hospitals and stuff like that, but we found out that her and this other dude who lives a few doors down or something like that, they're actually some of the main people behind this resistance, at least in the LA area. So that's going to provide a contrast, and it kind of explains why they kind of went out with each other when Will actually did come home, and they kind of had an argument about what to do with the deal and stuff like that. And Snyder's there the next morning cooking him breakfast. So it is an interesting dynamic that, her and Will are essentially on opposite sides of it right now. But you can tell Will doesn't really want to join this occupation, or he doesn't really want to, just, go with the flow of things. So I feel like, both him and Katie will be on the same side of it at some point. But for now, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because, now she's basically a mole because her husband's, part of this now. So I'm wondering how he's going to react when he eventually finds out about this. But yeah, that's basically the plot of the first episode. Not a whole lot happens. We get to know the characters a good amount, but we still don't really know who's in control of what. Like I said, there's more information on the Wikipedia page than there was in the first episode. But I'm going to try not to read too much of that. I'm just going to wait to see it all in the show. But like I said, it's extraterrestrials most likely, or something along those lines. I would have liked to have found out more about it in the first episode, but I know they're probably trying to make us wait a little bit so we have more intrigue with it or something. But overall, I thought it was an okay first episode. Like I said, we have two really good lead actors in the main roles. But it wasn't I will say it wasn't the most interesting it could have been, I don't think. I know a lot of people give the strain crap, but there's something in the first episode that show that really hooked me. And I can't say I was really hooked by anything in the first episode of this. They have some pieces that could be there that could really grow into something, but a lot of it's stuff we've seen before, just sort of mixed in or stretched out a bit for this particular show. I may watch the second episode next week, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be reviewing it every week. We'll probably see how it goes. Because I'm hopefully getting a job soon, and I have a lot of other shows I know I love that are coming back on very shortly within the next couple of weeks. So we'll just see how this goes. Okay, first episode. Nothing really overly impressive about it so far. Just a couple good actors and not completely original, but still somewhat potential-filled premise. So we'll see where it goes. Let me know what you guys think once you see the first episode tonight, or if you've watched it already like I did. Let me know what you thought. It was okay, worth checking out at least, but I wouldn't say it's anything to get too excited over yet, but we'll see where it goes. Alright, so follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and MoviePilot, and look for InSpoiled.com. I'll catch you guys next time, and peace.